Good morning, Trinity. My name is Michael Reed, and I'm your Finance Administrator. The Stewardship Committee's asked me to talk today a little bit about the budget, so let's jump right in. Many of you have reached out to me with questions from time to time, and they usually revolve around three topics. How do we calculate the budget? How do we allocate our budget funds? And the most asked question I get is, how are we doing? Are we receiving enough to meet our goals? Let me try and answer those questions. So how exactly is the budget income calculated? We look at three areas when putting together the budget. The most important tool we use when preparing next year's budget is the estimate of giving card that you will receive during the annual stewardship campaign. The more people that turn in a card, the more accurately we can anticipate how much funding we'll receive. Last year, we received giving cards from less than half of the congregation. So let me stress once again how important this tool is for creating an accurate and meaningful budget. The second source we look at is historical giving. This is where we look back at previous years to see what gifts we received in addition to pledges, and add that average figure to our estimated budget income. And lastly, we receive income from miscellaneous sources, such as building and school rental fees, wedding fees, and fundraisers. Taken together, these sources make up our budget figure. For this year, 2019, our church budget was $604,851. Once we determine the income we expect to receive, the next step is to allocate those funds. For today's presentation, I prepared a narrative budget, that is to say, one which shows the major areas that your giving supports. The five major areas are administration, building and grounds, the mortgage, worship and ministry, and evangelism and outreach. Administrative costs account for 20% of our budget and consist of items such as administrative staff salaries, copier leases, and of course coffee. The cost of maintaining our buildings and grounds account for 14% of the budget. It's important not to confuse this category with funds that are received through capital campaigns. Large ticket items, such as our parking lot, are funded by capital campaigns, while the everyday cost of maintaining the buildings and grounds are a general budget item. And that's why you see costs such as utilities, janitorial service, and lawn service under this category. This category is an easy one. It's the mortgage. 11% of the budget goes towards the mortgage principal and interest. Our largest budget expenditure by far is for worship and ministry, accounting for 39% of the budget. This is where most of your gifts are utilized. It consists of ministry salaries, major programming such as Vacation Bible School, Sunday school curriculums, musical events, trips, retreats, children and youth activities, and much more. The last category is evangelism and outreach, accounting for 16% of the budget. Expenses such as the well, kids' night out, conference expenses, materials for visitors, and apportionments all come out of this category. So how are we doing? Let's start by comparing last year's giving in 2018 to this year's giving. As everyone can see, we are trending downwards from 2018. Another indicator we watch is how expected giving is measured against actual giving. Through August, we had expected giving of $378,850, while our actual giving through August was $350,427, a budget difference of negative $28,423. Now this does present a challenge for us as a church, but it's by no means an insurmountable one. As we continue with our stewardship campaign, I think it's important to recognize all of the many wonderful things that we have done and continue to do. Let me end today by sharing a quote from Nobel laureate economist Robert Shiller. Finance is not merely about making money. It's about achieving our deep goals and protecting the fruits of our labor. It's about stewardship and, therefore, about achieving the good society. I'm thankful to be a part of this ministry, and I'm thankful to serve as your finance administrator. Thank you.